Hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Danganronpa V3, Killing Harmony. In the last episode, we began the second half of the class trial. There really hasn't been any obvious suspects for the Blackened yet. That is still very much, being kept from us. I am choosing to live in what I fear is my delusion. I am actively choosing to live in that delusion. Kaito did it. I can't accept that Gonta did it, because if Gonta did it, he's going to be killed off in this chapter. I refuse to accept that until the game, pushes it heavily in my face. Kaito did it. I want Kaito to die. He deserves to die. I'm accepting my delusional world rather than what I fear may be the truth. Ah, my head!
Monotaro! Oh, you're so together! I feel like I'm forgetting someone important to me, but I just can't. My head hurts so much, I just can't remember.
Can we get this boy a neurosurgeon or something? Can we get him some kind of brain specialist? We need a psychiatrist for Monokuma, because he's depressed as fuck. And we need some kind of brain doctor for Monotaro. His memory is... There's something seriously wrong with him. We need medical assistance here, please.
If you've forgotten, maybe that's for the best. From this point forward, let's start a new life for ourselves.
There is something deeper to this. In the trial, Monophony abandoned Monotaro because he was now siding with the students, and she said something along the lines of, there's someone you have to protect, like, I've got to go because you're a danger to them. Those weren't the exact words, but those were the vibes she was giving off. This isn't just a joke. Yes, it's being played for laughs, but there is a clue in here somewhere. They are leaving little breadcrumbs of clues.
After all, our baby is excited to meet his daddy,
I don't think the breadcrumbs lead to incest. You're the siblings, but you're also bears and robots, but you're siblings. No.
Daddy? Wait, what? I'm gonna be a father? What a colossal death flag. I'll be surprised if he doesn't die after that.
We've had a Monocub die in each... I'm a tad worried. We know that Monokuma is a bit depressed. They're not going to kill off Monokuma. And we'll just be left with the two Monokuma. They can't. They can't, right? I think we're either going to lose Monotaro or Monokuma in this class trial, and I'm not sure which.
More importantly, let's continue the conversation where we left off.
For once, Kaito, I quite agree. You have a good point there.
We understand Mew plotted the murder, but we need to find out who killed her.
And in order to figure that out, we need to understand Mew's actions. So let's discuss her murder scheme step by step.
Okay.
I know that's important, but hearing you lead the conversation really pisses me off.
Why shouldn't he lead the conversation? Why shouldn't he? You leading the conversation gets us fuck all. It gets us nowhere. At least if he leads the conversation, we get to places.
Let's see. Mew manipulated the virtual world to use it as part of her murder plan.
Don't just ignore me and start anyway.
I love you, Kokichi, right now in this one instance. After this, no, I don't love you. You're a little shit, but right now, in how you're treating Kaito, I love you, Kokichi.
If she had succeeded, she would have gone past the wall between the chapel and mansion. And then, wham! Murdered me on the roof with the hammer.
She would make the murder seem like it happened in the real world, and then pin it on Kaito.
As for Mew's alibi in the real world, she could say she was locked into the virtual world. And in the virtual world, she could say she was near the chapel the entire time.
She'd make an excuse about how she couldn't reach the mansion because of the fallen bridge.
It was a clever plan. It was a very clever plan. The biggest issue, though, is the fact that... Again, she was so obvious. Whoops, my hand slipped. I'm totally not pushing the sign on purpose. Like, it was a good plan in theory. How she executed it, even if she had succeeded, she never would have gotten away with it because she was just too obvious. Whoops, my hand slipped. How many times am I gonna have to say that line?
She dropped the bridge on purpose so she could separate the chapel from the mansion.
I understand the idea if she was doing that so that all the students knew that the bridge was down, but she implicated herself so heavily. Literally, all she had to do was wait for them to go to the mansion, push the sign into the river, and then go get everyone else and say, hey, I was exploring outside, and the sign's down. I think that one of the people in the mansion must have done it. Like, that's all she'd have to say. Like, and she couldn't even come up with a decent excuse. My hand slipped. Yeah, of course it did. Look, she was just so obvious. So extremely obvious.
Then secretly passed through the wall she installed and took advantage of the loop. After, she headed to where we were supposed to meet up, the mansion's rooftop. Oh yeah, Kaito was probably logged out around that time too.
That's when I saw Mew.
Problem is, because of her murder plans, we don't even know where she was killed.
She was killed on the roof, right?
I mean, I think so. That's where I'm assuming she was killed.
Kokichi told us the roof door was locked and that he couldn't get through.
Maybe that when culprit kill her.
I love you, Gonta. I love him.
That's probably what happened. The culprit killed her on the locked roof.
Did the culprit lock the door to the roof?
Perhaps. I don't think Mew did it. If Mew did lock it, she would have done it when she called Kokichi to the roof. Even if someone came up, I don't believe she would change the target of her plan. She knew that Kokichi would come up later. Locking the door would be suspicious.
Well, it's possible she didn't even think that far ahead.
She was smart, but she was also really, really dumb.
She really was. She really was. Like, she had her moments. Some of her inventions were really good, but there were times. There were times when, oof.
No say such mean things.
Oh! I'm sorry, Gonta. I'm sorry for being mean to Mew. He's so pure and good.
Killing game bad, not Mew.
Oh!
Mew not bad person. Grown to think we could have been friends, if things different.
My boy!
That might have been difficult, even without this killing game.
I want to slag off Mew, but Gonta said not to say bad things about her, so I'm not.
That wouldn't happen.
Nuh-uh. No way, Jose.
Stop it! Stop it! Let Gonta have his moment!
Huh?
Oh!
Anyway, let's continue the discussion. If Mew was killed on the roof of the mansion, the culprit must have moved Mew's avatar to the chapel after killing her, right?
So the next thing we should talk about is how they moved her avatar.
I mean, the roof has a, so you've got the flat bit, but then there's the bump out that's, you know, facing towards the chapel. The roof is kind of sloped. Just put her on the lattice and then, like a sled. Like a sled. Like, I hope I'm making sense there.
Now we know the mansion and chapel were actually next to each other.
Yeah, and if you use the lattice as a sled, it'd pick up speed and then bam! It'd crash into the chapel wall, and that's what would make the noise.
But the problem is the wall between them.
Only Mew was able to go through that wall. The culprit wouldn't have been able to.
No. Objects were able to go through the wall. Objects. You don't need the culprit. You don't need to physically move her. If you can, like, just sled her down. Sled her down.
Then you're saying the culprit sent Mew's avatar through that wall?
Yeah, that's the only way, right?
But how did the culprit send Mew's avatar through the wall? I mean, it's not like they could have thrown her.
You wouldn't need to throw her.
Don't not throw her!
Why are you implicating yourself? Why are you no one said anything about you throwing her. Gonta, you are breaking my heart. You are breaking my heart, and eventually you may break my mind.
We know. You couldn't because the avatar's physical strength was equalized.
Physical strength equalized? That problem. Gonta no can protect everyone if that happens.
He has absolutely no memory. Absolutely no memory at all. No. Sometimes the Delulu is the Salulu. I am sticking to my delusions.
Jeez, keep up with us. We're already in the second half of the class trial.
Don't be mean to him, Himiko. You're my second favorite, but girl, I swear.
How did they send Mew's avatar to the other side of the wall? Maybe that thing has something to do with it. You know, the loud sound you heard?
Ah! What? What was that sound?
Because of that sound, you guys went to the side of the chapel. Right, Keyboy? That's when you found the dead Mew there, right? If so, then I think that sound and her avatar being by the chapel are related.
You don't think you know. You know exactly what happened here, yet you're... It's okay. It's okay. Yes, there's no doubt in my mind that the noise is related to this case. We need to figure out what that sound could have been. It might be the clue we need to solve this case. So what was it? It sounded like something slamming hard into something else. So what were those two things? It could be the sound we heard. It was Mew. It was Mew slamming into the wall.
That's it! I think the sound came from Mew's avatar hitting the chapel wall. The hammer, cell phone, and lattice were there, but they were too small to make that noise. Ruling those out, the only other explanation is that the sound was Mew colliding with a wall.
If that's the case, Mew's avatar must have hit the chapel wall really hard.
Well, if she was sliding down, the roof is angled, you'd pick up speed and, you know, as they kept saying, physics are the same in the virtual world. Physics are the same. She would pick up some degree of speed and force, I think.
We felt the impact all the way from the inside of the chapel.
Yeah, that's the real question. Mew's avatar probably hit the chapel's wall with pretty considerable force. But why did it hit the wall with such force? Can you guys figure it out?
He's like... Right now, he's reminding me a bit of Dora the Explorer. Or, what was he called? Was it Steve from Blue's Clues? You know, can you find the blue paw print? Can you say Ola? You know, like, that's... He's reminding me of a Saturday morning cartoon for little kids. Can you do this? Can you? Mm-hmm.
Hold on, Kokichi. What's up with the way you're talking? Why are you talking like you know everything?
'Cause he does know everything.
Let's not worry about that right now.
You prick!
More importantly, we gotta solve the mystery. Fighting among friends is a waste of time.
Friends? Us?
Yeah, friends, us.
Anyway, can we talk about that after we figure this problem out?
Ah, I see that Kyo is burning in hell for his portrait. Okay.
A way of transporting Mew's avatar that would cause it to crash into the chapel.
Getting Mew's avatar to crash into the chapel from the mansion's roof. There's only one way I can think of how to do that.
Hey, Shuichi, as your partner, I'll give you a little hint.
I don't need a hint, thank you.
You what?
Since the mansion was on top of a hill, the roof was pretty high up, right?
And it is sloped. It is sloped.
Past the brick handrail, the roof was at a pretty steep slope.
Mm-hmm. Kokichi, this is not the hint you think it is.
And the slope faced the chapel wall. On top of that, there was snow on the roof. If the culprit needed force to move the body, I wonder how they did it.
Shuichi's just looking at him like, you aren't being helpful, dickhead. Sir. Kokichi is talking as if he's got the whole thing figured out already. He has. He has, Shuichi. But I can't let him distract me. I need to solve the case. How to make Mew hit the chapel wall from the roof of the mansion. I'm going to find the answer. Oh. Hello. Okay. 434. Sled. Sled, where? Okay, well there's an L. Oh. I'm not seeing any E's. Oh, hello. Hello. Yes! Okay. I have redeemed myself from the last chapter. Okay. I saw an O. A swad. That's not a word. A slid. Yeah, but no E's. Okay, slid. D. Slids. We're getting F's. Off. Slid off roof. Okay. Where are ours? I need ours. Look, let's give it a minute. We've got 4 minutes. We've got 4 minutes. I can take my time. Okay, I'm at full. I think we're U and R. Okay. I need O's. Okay. Excuse me. O. F.
I see The culprit used the sloped roof as a slide for Mew's avatar.
Slide? Aw, man. Even with the slope and the snow, Mew's body wouldn't have slid.
Wrong. It would slide.
But the avatars can generate friction. We wouldn't have been able to walk otherwise.
Yeah, that's why they use the lattice as a sled. Use that as a sled, push her down, bang!
So I doubt that it would have had that much momentum.
No. It would slide.
Why are you suddenly French?
It wouldn't slide, just like Maki Roll said.
It would slide!
It would slide, just like Shumai said.
Shumai?
Who the hell is Shumai?
Oh, he's a pupil of Ramen Man. Sorry, my hobby slipped in.
I'm positive that that's how Mew's avatar was moved, but maybe the culprit used something else as well to help her body slide. Yeah, the lattice, it was a sled. Okay, what have we got? I'm looking. Lattice
Even
near
if
the
the avatar
chapel.
slid off the roof, would it slide off that quickly?
Well, duh, it would.
That's
It
not
made
really.
that much noise. He must have built up a lot of speed.
Yeah.
Lots of snow piled up on roof.
That's true.
Not frozen solid, right?
We'd still slide, though.
In the real world, it might be difficult. But in the virtual world, perhaps not.
No.
That's not the issue. Sliding down snow is easy to do. You just need a sled or skis to cut the friction.
There was nothing like that around them.
No, there was.
That's wrong.
I love saying that Kaito was wrong. It makes my day.
No, wait. There was something that could have been used to help slide Mew's body. Do you remember the lattice that was found by Mew's avatar? The culprit laid her on top of that, then used it as a sled on the roof. I did notice the lattice in the storage room when I first looked. But during the investigation, I saw that it was gone.
The lattice that was found next to the chapel is the one that disappeared from the roof? Then that's it. The culprit used the lattice as a sled.
Ding, ding, ding! That's correct! After the culprit killed Mew on the rooftop, they placed her corpse on a sled.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. Ooh.
And slid her down the roof's steep slope.
The sled picked up speed, flew off the roof, glided through the wall only objects could pass through, and hit the chapel.
The impact made all of her belongings scatter, including the hammer and cell phone.
Just like that hedgehog who loses all his rings whenever he crashes into stuff. I hate that guy and his worldwide fame and his stupid games, and I hate that hedgehog!
He's better! The hatred made him live again! Praise be!
Daddy, I'm glad you're feeling motivated again, but you shouldn't be so hateful.
Ah, it's fine.
You gotta be an example to our new family.
Oh no! He's your father!
Yeah, Father. Or should I start calling you Grandfather now?
I'm confused. I thought she was saying that she had banged her dad. You'll need to stop. You'll need to stop with this.
Now that we know how the body slid down, we're just one step away from the culprit. Well, Shuichi, do you know who the culprit is?
I said it before and I'm saying it again. The Delulu is sometimes the Salulu. Kaito did it. The culprit.
Yeah. In the end, we'll still need to guess the culprit, huh?
But Gonta can't believe one of us killed Mew.
However, since we know she was killed on the roof, we can narrow down the list of suspects. Meaning, the culprit must be someone who was investigating the mansion. Aside from Mew, the people at the chapel could not go through the wall or cross the river.
So that means the suspects are Kaito, Tsumugi, Shuichi, and Gonta.
That's real sneaky, leaving yourself off the list.
Ooh, you got me.
That's right. 5 suspects. Me, Tsumugi, Gonta, Kokichi, and Kaito. We don't know enough to name the culprit yet, but one of them is suspicious. When we were talking about the rooftop, they clearly lied. But what reason would they have to lie? I'll need to press them for information before making any judgments. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I am concerned. However, he hasn't made any lies about the rooftop. He can't remember it. You've been lying like a motherfucker. Tsumugi hasn't really spoken about the rooftop, and Kaito was logged out. I want the Delulu to be the Salulu, but he was logged out. He's been lying this entire time. Oh, I don't know what's happening. Yeah, you clearly do. Gonta has no memory, therefore he couldn't have lied about anything. You're the liar.
It's you!
Ooh!
Kokichi, there's something I need to know.
I was concerned for a minute there. I was concerned, but Gonta hasn't mentioned the rooftop. At least in any significant way, because he has no memories of what happened. Kaito was logged out. And Tsumugi hasn't really talked about the rooftop either. Kokichi, this entire time he's been like, what's going on? But he's leading this entire trial, so I'm glad logic won out there.
What do you need to know?
Why did you lie just now?
Which lie are you talking about, Shuichi? I lie a lot, so you'll need to jog my memory.
Ah, you little shit. Oh, You know what? I'm gonna bring this episode to a close right here. In the next one, we confront Kokichi, hopefully about his behavior throughout all of this trial. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Kallista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.